In the last 15 minutes or so, DLF has issued a comprehensive statement completely denying any of the allegations which have been made by India against corruption. Those allegations are on a quid pro quo between DLF, the largest private builders in the country, and Robert Vadra, the son-in-law of Sonia Gandhi. Now, here's what they've had to say. DLF vehemently denies any quid pro quo with Vadra and his companies. DLF has given no unsecured loans to Mr. Vadra or his companies. Vadra bought the Aralia's flat for 11.9 crore rupees. It wasn't undervalued. There is no question of selling property at a throwaway price. Well, we're going to get reactions to all of this and go through some of the other points that DLF is mentioning as well. But this evening, we're debating ION 2014, the corruption factor. Are big parties going all out to win a perception battle? Is this perception battle about just trying to tell the public that, look, we aren't corrupt, they are, and the other party, their opposition, says exactly the same? Joining us in a few moments, Manish Tiwari, Lok Sabha MP and spokesperson of the Congress; Chandan Mitra, Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP, also MD and editor of the Pioneer; Manish Sisodiya, member of India Against Corruption and social activist; also Mr. Dilip Padgaonkar, consulting editor of Times of India. But first, earlier today, I spoke to India Against Corruption leader Arvind Kejriwal, whose latest set of allegations against Robert Vadra has been making national headlines. I began by asking Arvind, you've made allegations against Robert Vadra, but where is the proof that what he did in getting favorable property deals was indeed corrupt?
But this is what it is. If you're saying, if you are agreeing that yes, there were favorable loans, why were these favors granted? If you're saying that yes, there were favorable deals, then why was this favor granted? Since yesterday, Congress has been saying that he is a businessman. So what was this business deal about? That in 3 years' time, from 50 lakh rupees, you get assets worth 300 crore rupees without doing a single business activity. So what is this business? If DLF has transferred properties worth 300 crore rupees to Robert Vadra, what services did Robert Vadra provide in return?
But you don't know what the question. But you don't know what the services are either, and yet you throw these allegations.
We don't know. Of course we don't know. We are not saying that we know about it. Of course we don't know. But he belongs to the ruling party. He is the son-in-law of the ruling family. So obviously, if Robert Vadra was not married to Priyanka Gandhi, do you think this DLF would have given?
But Arvind, it's still conjecture, right? So. You may very well be right, you might be wrong, but what you've given us so far doesn't indicate anything. Isn't it an assumption on your part that there is some sort of quid pro quo?
It's a clear case of assets disproportionate to known sources of income, isn't it? In that you don't even need to prove quid pro quo. He has assets which are much more than known sources of income. It is for the investigative agency to find out what services were provided. They know what services were provided. Let them also speak. They are not speaking up.
Now, let me ask you this, just looking briefly at the larger issue. The Congress says your party is stillborn and they've questioned the timing of you making these allegations. They say that, you're desperate to sort of fling allegations. How do you respond?
They will, what else can they say? If they had responded on merits, I could have provided a counter response. They are questioning our intentions. I am saying our intentions are bad. I am saying we are very bad people. We are getting into politics. Everything. Tell me, why did DLF give you 35 crore worth of property for 5 crores? Answer that straight question. Why did DLF transfer 300 crore rupees worth of property for nothing?
Okay, so in other words, you want them to come clean with the facts. In other words, on what grounds the property was acquired. So you made the allegations first. You haven't sought a clarification thus far, but you want the clarification after you made the allegations.
I am a citizen of this country, ordinary citizen of this country. We voted them to power. There is a suspicion. The citizen of this country has every right to ask them questions, and it is their duty to provide answers. On the contrary, yesterday in one of the TV interviews, I heard Salman Khurshid saying that it is my duty to protect the Congress leadership. Now the question is that is he the Law Minister of India or Law Minister of Congress Party?
Well, he's also a congressman. But Mr. Kejriwal, thank you so much for speaking to us. I was speaking to Arvind Kejriwal earlier today, and to be fair to him, he wasn't aware of what DLF has had to say in just the last little while. That was an interview recorded earlier on today. But let me now bring in Manish Sisodia for a clarification. Now, Manish, one of the key points over here that you mentioned is that 350 acres of land in Haryana has been acquired because there's been a nudge, wink between Mr. Vadra, the Congress party, and DLF. But this is what DLF is saying, and let me just quote this response. They say that an attempt is being made to confuse the Magnolias project with an independent project of 350 acres which was tendered by the Haryana State Industrial Imports Development Corporation. By a series of well-advertised international tender processes in 2009, DLF emerged as the successful bidder after a thorough technical and commercial bidding process. So, right, so it's not a question of Vadra. There were other competitors. There was a bidding process which everybody seems to believe is the only way forward in this country, right? And they seem to have won. So, how have you flung these allegations without verifying these facts?
मैं हिंदी में सोचता हूँ, इसलिए हिंदी में अपनी बात रखूंगा।
जरूर बताइए।
दिल्ली में, हरियाणा में, राजस्थान में ऑल ऑफ ए सडन सब कुछ इतना फेवर में आ गया उनके कि उन्होंने जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट डाला, सीडब्ल्यूजी में उनको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिलने लगे, दिल्ली में जमीन मिलने लगी, 1000 कितना वो वर्ग गज है उसका प्लॉट उनको 1 करोड़ में मिल गया, उसके बाद राजस्थान में उनको जमीन मिलने लगी, सारी जगह अचानक ये सब मेहरबानियां होने लगी डीएलएफ पर, सब कुछ सारे ठेके वो जीतने लगी, सारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स उसको मिलने लगे।
Manish Sisodia, you're wrong over there because DLF has said one more point. They've said that a lot of the properties which were acquired have been acquired over the last 25 years. Robert Vadra was not on the scene acquiring property over 25 years.
हो सकता है उनके स्टेटमेंट को हम अभी देख लेंगे कि क्या क्या उन्होंने बोला है, किस किस तरह के दिए, उस पर बाद में रिएक्शन करेंगे, क्योंकि एक बार मुझे उनका पूरा स्टेटमेंट समझना पड़ेगा किस प्रॉपर्टी के बारे में उन्होंने क्या बोला है। लेकिन ओवरऑल आप ये याद करिए कि 2007 में डीएलएफ के शेयर 57% डाउन चले गए थे, और ये तब था जबकि स्टॉक मार्केट पूरी तरह से बूम पे था। उसके बावजूद और उसके बाद डीएलएफ के साथ में रॉबर्ट वाड्रा साहब के ये सारे जो भी हम बात उठा रहे हैं, ये सारी चीजें होती हैं, और उसके बाद डीएलएफ का मार्केट रेट भी होता चला जाता है, उसके बाद उनके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स भी मिलते चले जाते हैं। तो ये सारी चीजें, जैसा अरविंद भी बोल रहे थे कि सवाल रॉबर्ट वाड्रा से भी है, लेकिन उनके साथ साथ डीएलएफ से भी और उन सरकारों से भी है कि वो अचानक इतनी इन पर मेहरबान कैसे हो गई। ये सवाल तो सरकारों को जवाब देना पड़ेगा, और हमारा असली सवाल तो फिर सरकारों से ही है।
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app, fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.